And Simmons here. I'm filling in for Stephanie Haney with your 2 p.m. 3 News Now update. Again, today is June 12th, and we just want to give you an update on some of the news stories that we've been following throughout the day. So just want to start off with the big one that's happening for us. The Cleveland Air Show has been canceled. I know that's something that not many of us want to hear. It's something we look forward to every year. Since 1964, the Cleveland Air Show would normally run on Labor Day weekend. Of course, we just found out from the organizers that they have decided to cancel this year's event due to COVID-19, and they say they had to do that because of county and city and state health regulations and everything that's going on surrounding coronavirus. So again, the Cleveland Air Show is canceled. Organizers say they're already working ahead for next year, for 2021, because they do want the show to go on, of course, but this year we won't be able to enjoy it like we have been able to in years past. Also, we want to tell you just some more coronavirus related stories. Just related to that, the Cleveland Metro Parks Zoo announced they're going to be opening June 17th, but they're also going to have some changes in place. Just like we told you earlier, some of those changes include capacity limits. They're only going to allow 75% of the people that they would normally have. Also, they want everybody to have reservations before they attend the zoo. So you have to make sure as you go out and try to plan a trip to the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo, make sure you pay attention to those things and understand it's going to be very busy. Now, once you get in there, masks will not be required, so that's something you don't have to worry about. However, employees will continue to wear them, and they have installed extra hand washing stations and things like that throughout the zoo to help people kind of stay clean, stay safe as they visit. Now, a couple things that are still closed as you go visit the zoo is the rainforest. All the playground areas will remain closed, and also the contact yard and camel ride experience. There will be no tram service, and also any of those buildings that have interiors. So, for instance, the primate or cat and aquatics buildings, all of those sorts of things will also remain closed even when the zoo does reopen again on the 17th. Now, also, Cleveland Clinic released a PSA about the spread of COVID-19 in the black community. Of course, we all know Dr. Charles Modlin is a urologist there and director of the Cleveland Clinic's Minority Men's Health Center. They run a huge health fair that talks about health disparities and different things like that every year. And what they wanted to point out is that the African-American population, of course, seems to be more vulnerable to coronavirus for a lot of different things. So the PSA talks about some of those disparities and talks about how people can be more educated and talks about why it happens, and hopefully we can get those numbers down in the black community. So that is a PSA that was released by Cleveland Clinic. Of course, if you want more information from Cleveland Clinic on COVID-19, you can go to their website as well, clevelandclinic.org/COVID-19, and they have a lot of information on that page. Now, of course, as we go through each day, we always want to give you an update on what the coronavirus numbers are that we've seen. So at 2 p.m. every day, we get an update from the state, and we just received that update a few minutes ago. So we do know that coronavirus numbers have gone up by 420. So we're now at a total of 40,424 cases. That's 40,424 total cases, and that number is not as high as the increase that we saw yesterday. So yesterday we saw an increase of 429 cases, and today we're seeing an increase of just 420 cases. So those are still very close. The numbers staying kind of steady. Also, when it comes to hospitalizations, we're seeing 6,814 people currently hospitalized, and the ICU also has 1,000. And there are 13 new ICU admissions, which is also down from the day before. So again, we're always trying to keep you guys clued in on the trends, and right now it seems things are staying sort of steady, so that's a good thing. Now, of course, amidst all of this, all of these different numbers, all these different coronavirus updates, we told you yesterday about Dr. Acton stepping down from her position as Ohio's director of the health department. So that's something we just want to throw in there, that now we are working under an interim director because she did step down. However, of course, we do know that she does still advise Governor Mike DeWine at his request, so she still remains kind of on his staff as the chief health advisor. But again, she does not lead the health department itself. So that's something that we wanted to make sure we talked about as well as we give you an update on those numbers. Now we want to switch gears and talk about, we all remember some of the protests that happened around Cleveland back on May 30th, and we saw people smashing windows and just all sorts of vandalism. That's because those peaceful protests actually turned into more non-peaceful protests because of certain bad actors who were out there involved in that mix. So some of those bad actors, of course, there were pictures taken and things like that of people who were doing bad things, and the FBI got a hold of them. So what they did, of course, is they disseminated those pictures to the public and said, hey, we need your help finding some of these people. And I want to let you know, one of those persons who they were looking for has been taken into custody and arrested for his actions on that day. So a 22-year-old was taken into custody. His name is Tondre Buchanan Jr. He was taken into custody. It was announced early this morning. And the FBI said once they disseminated all of those pictures of people they had committing crimes, they said within 30 minutes, just 30 minutes, they had gotten a number of tips that pointed towards Buchanan. So they went ahead and picked him up, and now he is in custody. Of course, there are still plenty of other pictures on our website, wkyc.com, if you want to just kind of go through them, see if you know anybody who's done some bad things, and kind of help the FBI out and help them identify some of the people who weren't peacefully protesting, but these are the people who were vandalizing, looting, and doing other bad things that they shouldn't have been doing while they were out there. Also, related to all of that, obviously the protests and some of the unrest that followed all started because of the death of George Floyd at the hands of Minneapolis police officers. And last night we ran a special on our air called Front Row Turning Point, and that was just to kind of shed some light on issues of racism and kind of get the conversation going here in Northeast Ohio on that topic. So that aired last night on our air, but we do have the entire program available for you in its entirety, and it allows you to just kind of see some of the issues that we discussed, hear from some of the leaders in the black community. And if you want to see that special, we're willing to send it to you. All you have to do is text the word change to 216-344-3300. Again, that's text the word change to 216-344-3300, and then we'll be able to send you the links and everything to that information. Now, also related to all of these different things, Giant Eagle is set to close some of their Get-Go stores and their Giant Eagle locations for an hour on Saturday, and that's to talk to employees about community change. Have a quote here from the company's president and CEO. He says, "We must take every opportunity to put ourselves in others' shoes." He says, "We will slip up, we will make mistakes, but as long as we are open, honest, and sincerely listen to one another, we will make positive, long-lasting change." And also to go along with that, the Giant Eagle Foundation, like many other companies, is donating to social justice causes. Giant Eagle is donating $350,000, and we've also seen the NFL step forward, and they've committed $250 million to social justice initiatives. So you'll see a lot of people are coming forward on that front and trying to make change across our country and figure out how they can help listen to others and make things better. And because we mentioned the NFL, let's switch over. We'll talk about a couple sports stories before I get out of your way. First off, the Browns and Myles Garrett are engaged in extension talks. Obviously, we know Myles Garrett didn't play a lot of last season because of the helmet incident against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But the Browns are still looking to lock him up. We all know Myles Garrett is a good guy. I've met him in person. At least he's a good guy as far as I know. And what I saw on the field wasn't him. But we do know, aside from the helmet incident on the field, the guy's a beast. He knows what he's doing out there. And according to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the Cleveland Browns and Myles are talking about a long-term contract extension. Obviously, back in April, the Cleveland Browns picked up the fifth-year option on Myles Garrett on his rookie contract. So we already knew we wanted to keep him, but if we can keep him long-term, keep him past that 2021 season, I think that would be awesome. It's always great to have great players around, and we all know we want our Browns to do well this year. Let's hope coronavirus, how it's shutting down some of these other things, doesn't stop the NFL season, because I want to see what the Browns do this year. I'm really excited about that. And also some NFL-related news for my sports fans. The NFL extended the virtual offseason until June 26th. So the first preseason game is scheduled for August 6th with Dallas against Pittsburgh in the Hall of Fame game. Of course, that always happens right here in Ohio, down at the Hall of Fame. So that's supposed to happen, and most training camps are scheduled to open late next month. So we're getting close. We're starting to see some things happen, but unfortunately, this is a minor setback, but also expected, where the NFL had to extend that virtual offseason to June 26th. Now, obviously, for players who are having issues with injuries, things like that, they've been allowed to report to NFL facilities, but most of the players have not. So June 26th is how long we have to wait until, at least until we see all the players return to the facilities, unless that changes in the meantime. That's it for now. I don't have any other news to give you right now in our news update, so hopefully you guys just stay in touch with us on our website. All the links to all these stories I mentioned are on WKYC.com, and follow us throughout the day, and if anything happens, we'll make sure we bring it to you as soon as we possibly can. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy.